Welcome to my YouTube channel. Several years ago, the mother of a child who I'd treated at a therapy intensive respite program for children with autism and their families suggested that I start a YouTube channel and share the information that I had shared with the families at camp. It's taken me a while to get here, but I really do feel that the information that I will be sharing will be helpful to parents, educators, and clinicians who work with people with autism. So why do I think that? Well, it starts with the birth of my son in 1988. When he was 6 months old, he started with a rare kind of seizure disorder that created delays that presented as nonverbal autism with pretty severe self-regulation issues. We'd been through brain surgeries, multiple medications to try and control the seizures, which in theory would then control his autism. But then in 1993, a friend of mine from Colorado told me about this therapy intensive respite program that they were starting for children with autism and their families. And so we went to it, and it was my experience with Chris that kind of set all this in motion. It was just, as a physical therapist and a mother, to see the difference in him in those 5 days, I just couldn't get it out of my head. Well, Chris died a few months after that, and I just couldn't get it out of my head. So I ended up starting a program in his memory called Chris's Camp. That's a therapy intensive respite program for kids with autism and their families. Then, after working camp for several years and seeing the wonderful successes that we saw for kids that came to camp, I became increasingly frustrated at the direction of research. So I returned to school and I received my master's in cognitive and behavioral neuroscience and my PhD in rehab science. My focus when in graduate school was trying to understand as much as I could about the brain, but specifically the brain in autism. And so the information that you will see on this channel is going to be the integration of the information that I have as a parent, a therapist who's worked in the school setting, pediatric private clinic settings, as well as at camp. And then also integrates the autobiographical accounts of persons with autism. It's kind of the why behind what we see in autism. To understand a little bit more about my passion for this work, go ahead and watch the next video. It tells you about my story with Chris at Adams Camp.